this is something that's been something on my mind where I've been wanting to share for some time, and it's in regards to how do I approach applying for a job. How do I think about it, and like, are there any, I guess, tips that I can share as well? So the reason why I want to share this is because for people who stutter, applying for a job is one of those social situations that it's a bit more stressful, and stuttering. I'm just gonna go to this side here because there's cars coming, and stuttering is more likely to happen when we're in a job interview, right? And it's a interesting thing, right? Because normally when I go through job interviews, especially when, like, I was younger, I used to stutter very, very bad. And I know that it's hard to display your skills and your experience and what you know, and also your value, when you stutter, right? It's just so hard. So that's why I want to make this video, okay? And I do want to apologize earlier on because I'm out. I'm on a little bit of a hike right now and walking through the Blue Mountains area in Australia. So this year, what happened to me? So this year, especially at the start of the year, around January and February, I was looking for a new job, right? And I was going through a bunch of interviews, sending out different resumes and so on. And the way I approach the interview process, I think it's a little bit unique, and it's I guess tailored for myself because I stutter, and hopefully it will help other people out who stutter, right? So before I get into it, I guess there's two things that I do want to talk about, two areas, right? The first area that I really want to talk about is the place that you're coming from internally, right? Sorry about the shadow on my face, but I want to talk about the internal place that you're coming from. So that's the first area. And the second area that I do want to talk about is the things that you can do, right? The kind of actions that you can take to help you prepare for an interview and also improve your chances to express yourself fluently, and hopefully that leads to a better chance of applying for and trying to get that job, right? So the first part, where you're coming from, right? So during this phase when I was going through this job interview phase and applying and jumping on calls, and being asked a lot of questions, I would get myself internally to a place, right? So the first place that I do always want to get myself to, when I'm going through this interview phase, is I just want to have a lot of clarity internally, right? I want to be able to have clear thoughts and make sure that my mind is not making a lot of internal noises. It's not creating a lot of self-doubt. It has a lot of clarity where I can see thoughts, or I don't have to create a lot of internal thoughts, as well. So that's a place that I do want to get myself to have internal clarity, right? Where my mind's not foggy, it's not noisy. Yeah, I'm just going through a bit of a driveway here, as you can see. So I do have to pay attention if there's dogs or cars coming out. Yeah. So clarity is the first thing that I want to move towards. The second thing, I do internally want to get my place, get myself to emotionally and mentally, right? My mindset is I want to be at peace with whatever the outcome is of that interview, right? I want to get myself to a place where even if I do well in the interview, I'm okay. Even if I do bad, I'm okay. Even if I don't know the answers to some of the questions, even if I stutter, even if I don't stutter, I'm okay with the outcome, right? So just finding peace and acceptance. And that's a second thing that I internally really want to get to. It's not a logical thing that you can think your way there. It's an experience that you want to move towards, right? So clarity, peace, and acceptance. Third is I want to get myself to a place where I am okay with the flow, right? Okay with the flow of the interview and just being more in the moment, and wherever the interview goes, that's where I will take that interview and the conversations as well. Now the hike is finally starting. Yep. So, and apologies if the camera is going to shake too much. I'll walk a little bit slower. So internally I want to get myself to a place where I am just going with the flow of however that interview goes, however the preparation of that interview goes, right? So those are three internal states and the positions that I want to move towards, right? Clarity is the first one. Second one is being at peace and acceptance of whatever the outcome is. And another way to say number two is just being free of the outcome, right? Not being attached to it as well. And that is a process. You have to write down all the things that you really want from that interview and just try to become free from it. The third thing is being in the moment and just going with the flow of the interview. So those are the three areas that stack up to moving to an internal position. Now, the second thing is the things that you can do and the things that I did, right? So the first thing is you want to prepare for the interview, right? And this preparation, which I did, it's just to do a little bit of research for the job, and practice some of the questions that they're going to be asking you as well, and just making sure that you know most of the questions that they're going to ask you, which I did. So that's the first thing. And give yourself a time limit as well. I give myself no more than 2 hours to prepare for a job interview. I'll just pause it here because that's a few people coming up. So give yourself a time limit to prepare for the interview. Don't over prepare, because the more you prepare for something, the more attached you become to the outcome. So that's number one, on what you can do. Number two is when you apply and think about that job that you're applying for, try not to be attached to it, and just get your mindset to a place where even if you get the job, even if you don't, um, you're still free from the outcome. So the things that you can do to help you become a little bit more free from the outcome is just know that your life has a lot of value outside of that job. So you can journal these things out, you can map it out as well. You can do things outside of trying to make money that make you feel good, right? There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. You can have a great social life. You can go to the gym. You can build a good family, right? You can grow your faith in God and life, right? There's all these things that you can do. You can read. You can find out what you like and develop those areas that generally make you feel good. So even if the job interview doesn't work out, or you stutter, or you really embarrass yourself and you just feel ashamed, you have all these things around your life that just make you feel good really easily. One of my favorite things that I like to do is I do like to go out in nature and just go for a hike. I do like to spend some time in nature and just kind of reflect and think. Hence why I'm making this video, because it's been something I've been wanting to share for some time. Third thing that you can do, right? The third thing that you can do, and which I did for this interview, is and this helps me become free of the outcome, but also eases me into it. The more I do it, I just let people know in that interview, either at the start or the middle or towards the end, that I stutter and I have speech impairment as well. Half of the time, in my experience, the people in the interview, they don't really care, and they don't really acknowledge it. They just say, oh, thank you for letting us know, and they just carry on with the interview. And sometimes, which happened to me, they really get curious and appreciative and support you and your stuttering journey. And they ask you a bunch of questions, which they did with me as well, like, how do I manage it? How do I work through it? And I just let them know how I manage it. And a lot of them see a lot of courage in you applying for that job interview, and it works in your favor, which it did for me. So I went for this particular job that I'm currently working in now, and I was very transparent that I do stutter, and I still stutter, and I have a YouTube channel about stuttering as well. And everyone got very curious and appreciative, and they also wanted to know what stuttering is and how I deal with it, and what the research says about it, and if there's any solutions for it as well. So, and that took the whole interview in a different direction. So I do let people know in that interview that I stutter, right? And sometimes it works for you, it helps you out, and sometimes it's going to work against you as well. And I've been in that situation that I could tell that the people in that interview really thought that that I'll have a hard time in the job as well because I stutter, right? And that's something I can't control, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that, right? So that's that. And just to give you everyone a context, the job that I do right now, there is like a weekly exposure, at least 2 or 3 times, where I'm on a Zoom call and I'm talking to a group of people and I'm educating them about the particular specialization that I offer, the company that I do. And every month I've got to do at least 2 monthly group calls where I have to lead this call, and I'm doing like 80% of the talking. And there's like 40 or 50 people on this call. There's C-level people, there's management, there's operational people as well, and it's a big call which I have to lead. And occasionally at the start of this job, I was stuttering a lot, I was nervous a lot, but I had a lot of faith and belief in the mindset and principles and methods that I believe that helps me get to a place of fluency, a very internal strong position as well. And and now, because I've continually working on myself and I'm building the right behaviors and the mindsets, there is more free expression for myself in these meetings. I'm joking more, I'm freestyling more in these conversations as well, and I feel stronger and stronger each and every week that I run these meetings. Okay, so those are the kind of tips from me. That's what's been happening with me, and that's also part of the reason why I'm not posting a lot as well. Do let me know if you do like this new format of this video. I know it's a bit shaky, probably the microphone's not that good, or sound, but I will check it out. But yeah, okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.